make use of the facilities here. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to get Andy up to talk about his insights into cash flow.
Lovely.
Over to you, Andy.
Thank you very much, Jane. Perfect, thank you very much. It's really, really very nice to be here this morning in this beautiful air-conditioned building, for sure. Right? I'm Andy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. And I've got a bit of a confession to make. I'm actually quite a big fan. I belong to an amateur dramatics group. So what I want you to bear in mind is that if this starts to look like I'm performing in a pantomime, that's the reason.
Oh no, you won't.
So, over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you how to generate £100,000 cash into your business account over the next 12 months. And the best way for me to do that is to share our journey, mine and Samantha's, my wife Samantha, and to tell you a client story as well. The process that we used ourselves and the mindset shift that we had to go through in order to actually believe what was possible. It would be really, really helpful right now for a show of hands if I could see how many people here are actually in business for themselves. That works. Cool. Thank you very much. So, to save you taking any notes, I'll happily send you the slides. All you need to do, scan the QR code. That'll take you to a WhatsApp message. Just press send, and I'll send you the slides later today. So I'll leave it up for a couple of minutes. So let's get into it. So who here, whether you're in business on your own or not, who here would like an extra £100,000 in their bank account right now? Okay, some very, very wealthy individuals in the room already. Thank you, appreciate it. So the question that I have for you is this. What would you actually do with that £100,000 if it were in your bank account right now? Please shout out any answers.
Give it to my wife.
Correct answer. Install air.
Go down to the pub. Yeah.
Pay off the mortgage.
The mortgage. Anyone else? Holiday. Yeah. Any more for any more? No. Okay. Thank you for those of you that shouted out. Appreciate it. So ultimately, more cash gives you more choices. So you could invest in growth. You could innovate in your business with AI. You could attract and retain high quality talent. You might even want to give yourself a pay rise. You could choose to only work with the kind of clients and customers that you like. And you could top up your pensions, investments. You could maybe create passive income streams for yourself through business and property. You might hit your lifestyle goals, like that holiday that someone shouted out about. And you might actually just want to spend more quality time with your family and those that you love. So if you're a business owner and you feel like you're stuck on the front line, oh no, okay, that's a good job. This goes backwards and forwards, Jane.
All mod cons.
All mod cons. So if you're a business owner and you feel like you're stuck on the front line, working all the weekends and wondering why you're busy but not actually building any wealth, then this is for you. And I'm not suggesting that you're going to do this by working more hours, because I've no doubt that most of the people in this room probably work more hours than they want to already. And it's a place that I've been, working too many hours and not building enough cash reserves in the bank. So for 34 years, I ran my accountancy practice the way that most people run their businesses. So I was chasing more sales, I was adding more clients, hiring more team, working harder, doing all the things I thought I was supposed to do, and just hoping that the money would just sort itself out, expecting that the money would just sort itself out. Yes, even in the accounting world, there are people who aren't doing this right, and I was one of them. But the money didn't sort itself out. And so in 2022, Samantha joined the business because we had decided that we wanted to grow it. And in 2023, we hit our goal, which was fantastic. We found we'd sold £100,000 worth of recurring revenue in our business. So that was really, really great news. But in that time, we'd also hired more team, and we'd spent a lot more time and money on marketing the business. And what we found at the end of the year was this: we just weren't making any more money. But I was busier than ever, I was more stressed than ever, and to be honest, I was completely burnt out, or certainly heading that way. So something definitely had to change for us. It couldn't go on like that. And today I'm going to share with you what we did differently. This is our journey, and it's something that I call Cashflow First. And so just to tell you a little bit more about the story, so Samantha and I were pretty depressed about the fact that we put in loads and loads of effort to build the business, but we hadn't really got any further forward. We hadn't really made any progress. So we could have just buried our heads in the sand and felt sorry for ourselves, but we didn't do that. Instead, we faced it head on, and we built ourselves a cash flow forecast. Now, this was something that I'd done many times in the past before, but it needed updating. We needed to work on it. And when we built that new cash flow forecast, this is the thing that showed us the truth about the business that I'd been running for 34 years. And it was this: that our financial model for the business was completely broken. And the main problem for us was that our fees were far too low. So it didn't matter how many clients we could add, we were still going, it still wasn't going to work, no matter how many clients we added. So we stepped back and we asked ourselves one question: what is it that we actually want? And here's the answer. Well, actually, did we want the Lamborghini, the private jets, and the move to Dubai? No, we didn't. That wasn't for us. What we wanted was a more relaxed lifestyle so that I could continue performing in Panto, which is the bottom left. That's me as the idiot son of the Panto Day this year. We wanted to be able to cut our hours down, working 30 hours a week. We wanted better clients and fewer of them. We wanted to be doing more fulfilling work with those clients. And it was all so that we could have plenty of quality time together outside of work while still building wealth for our future. So how much money do we think we needed to make those changes to our lifestyle? A nice round 100K. And what we did then is we landed on a vision to deliver that 100K. And our vision was 20 clients paying us £30,000 a year to replace the hundreds of clients that we'd had who were paying us just a few £100 a month. I think with all my Panto practice with scripts, I'd be able to move pieces of paper around, but apparently I can't. In fact, so that was the vision: 20 clients paying us 30K a year. Now the problem that we had initially was that I didn't believe that that was remotely possible to achieve. Samantha believed it, I didn't, because I'd been stuck where I was for 30 odd years doing But we tested it, we launched the new product, and we upsold it to an existing client. We upsold an existing client to a higher level package that we'd created. And when we talked it through with them, it was just what they were looking for. And they said, yes, let's go ahead. And then we spoke to another client, and it was the same story. They could see the value. It was something that they needed. And so we got another yes. So that was fantastic news for us. But then the next time we had a conversation, it was actually to a brand new prospect, so someone that we had never spoken with before. And it was a transformational offer for them. But what happened with that client was that they paid us the full £30,000 in advance, cash in our bank straight away for the whole year. So for me, that was unimaginable until that point. But if you can imagine that £30,000 landing in the bank before we'd even started working with them, it was an amazing feeling and helped me with my mindset shift. So, as I say, this was something that I'd never experienced before, and it completely changed my belief about what was possible. So, just thinking that through, so if you're sitting there listening to me and thinking, well, there's no way I could possibly do anything like that with my team, with my clients, then that was the belief that I had. So you can change your position. So as I say, it wasn't just going through a pricing change for me, it was a complete identity shift. I had to go from being the tax expert for hundreds of micro businesses that they relied upon to being the business transformation expert that I knew that I was. And at that time I decided to actually let go of 100 clients who were at the lower level with us. And some of those clients have been with me 30 years and they trusted me and I had a great relationship with them. And so it was really, really quite difficult to let go of not only those relationships, but also the cash that was coming with them. But it was extremely important that I did that I went through that process of letting go so that I could leave the caterpillar behind to become the butterfly. And the results were this. So I went from working 12-hour days to 6-hour days. I got my weekends back, I stopped drinking, I lost weight, and I actually started living instead of spending my time firefighting in my own business. And, of course, we generated another 100k in cash reserves, which gave us choices, which gave us freedom. And one of our clients, who used to pay us £300 a month, this year will have paid us just over £100,000 in a combination of project work and retainer work. So £300 a month to £100,000 a year it's just amazing going from that compliance piece to that transformational partnership with that client. But we could only deliver the project work, which was kind of the icing on the cake. We could only deliver that project work because we had the capacity, the energy and the time to fully commit to the project. And if we'd not had the vision and the courage to let go of the 100 lower level clients, then we simply couldn't have taken on that additional, more profitable work. And for me, yeah, that is the power of getting this transformation right. And it all comes from one idea, which is this. You're in the cash flow business. So whatever business you actually think that you are in, I'm going to let you know now with love that you're not. You are in the cash flow business. Whatever goods or services, whatever size of your business, whatever goods or services you supply to your clients and customers can only exist if there's sufficient cash flow in your business. And if you want to start creating more cash in your business, then it requires a huge amount of focus. So a lot of business owners will only look at revenue and say, you know, if I hit my sales number, I'll be absolutely fine. But what we find when we scratch the surface and we have those conversations is that the business is actually living month to month and sometimes very much hand to mouth. And some business owners do have a cash flow forecast, which is fantastic, but they tend to only look at it when they feel like they're in trouble. They'll use it to ask themselves questions like, you know, will I have enough money to cover this month's payroll? Or will I have enough money to cover my next VAT bill? But they don't look on any further than that. And that is not how to grow a pot of surplus cash. So what we do differently in our business, and what made the difference for us, was that we set ourselves a cash accumulation goal. And in this case, 100k extra cash in the next 12 months. And then what we did is we reversed engineered everything back from that so that the business would deliver it. And now, every decision we make gets filtered through this one question. Does this get me to my cash goal? So when we do that, everything changes. It allows us to stop chasing the small job. It allows us to get strategic about pricing and who it is that we actually want to work with. And then suddenly, magically, we found ourselves working fewer hours for more money. And I'm going to walk you through now the process that we used to do that, and it's 5 simple steps. So, firstly, we clarify our values. What is it that you want more of in your life? What is it that you want less of in your life? And it's not just a business exercise, it's a life exercise too. So for me, I wanted more family time. That's what's important to me. I also wanted deeper relationships with fewer clients doing more impactful work for them. I wanted to reduce my team, but I also wanted to have the time and the money to develop the remaining team in the business. And of course I wanted money to invest in pension, property, all those kind of things, and build for the future. So once you're clear on the life that it is that you want, you can then design a business that supports that vision, not the other way around. The second step is to set your cash accumulation goal. So ask yourself this question: how much extra cash do you need in 12 months to fund that new lifestyle and make the changes in the business that you want to make? For most people I work with, it's around £100,000. And this is the number that you then work back from, that you reverse engineer from. For you, it may be a different number. Step 3 is to run your cash flow scenarios. And this is where we see the light bulb realization moments land for clients. So we don't model cash flow passively. What we do is we take that cash accumulation goal and we start to model the scenarios. We ask questions like, what happens if I cut costs? What happens if I raise prices? What happens if I let go of my lowest value clients? What happens if I upsell to my existing clients? What happens if I hire a team member? And what emerges from that exercise is a clear path towards your cash accumulation goal. For me, it showed me that our fees were far too low and that I needed fewer, bigger clients. But for you, it might be something completely different. But once you see it, once you see that opportunity, once you've had your light bulb moment, you can't unsee it. Step 4 is you create your financial vision, a simple one-page document. You have your vision on it, your quarterly priorities, and the actions that you need to take to hit your cash accumulation goal. And that document becomes your filter. Remembering, of course, that we've got the question that every decision you make comes with the question, does this get me to my cash flow goal? And if the answer is yes, you do it. And if the answer is no, you know, thank you. And there's no more saying yes to the wrong client out of fear. And you stop doing all the things that you think you should be doing, and you get yourself laser focused on your cash goal. And that's the exciting part. So the next bit is tracking your KPIs. Who here loves tracking KPIs? Yeah, that's what I figured. I'm the same. But this is the bit that most people skip. So every month, it's important to check your actual cash flow against your plan and course correct early. It's where you catch problems while they're still tiny, instead of looking back at the year end and wondering where all your money went. And that is the whole process. Clarify your values, set your cash accumulation goal, run your scenarios, create vision, your vision document, and start tracking your KPIs. And it is that simple. It's just not what most business owners are taught to do. So I'm going to tell you a story about Jason, a client of ours, who went through this process. Jason and his wife run a fire and safety business in Hampshire. They've got a fantastic reputation. He's always in demand, but that demand was costing him. He was working 18-hour days. He had midnight call-outs to go to, and he spent his weekends buried in admin. He was also turning down 7-figure projects because he didn't have the time, he didn't have the team, and he didn't have the headspace. So he'd been trying to hire a good engineer for about 18 months when we met him, but he kept talking himself out of it because of the cost. He kept looking at it as a cost. Even though he did have cash in the bank, he was really hesitant to hire somebody. So we sat down with him and we asked him just one question. What do you actually want your life to look like in 3 to 5 years? And this is what he told us. He said that he wanted a bigger house with a driveway. He said he wanted time to go to rugby on a Friday with the kids. He wanted a holiday every year. That's not too much to ask for, right? And he wanted a business that didn't fall apart without him when he did go on holiday. And once we mapped his numbers, it became obvious to him that not committing to his vision was costing him more than hiring any engineer would. A premium engineer would pay for himself many times over and buy Jason back his time to lead, to think, to breathe, and to land those 7-figure contracts with confidence. 2 months later, he was a different man. He'd found some great team members he could trust. He raised his prices. He started saying no to low margin work without feeling guilty about it. His health had improved and he took his family on holiday for the first time in 2 years, with no anxiety that the business would fall over while he was gone. And this is what he told us. I'm sitting on the sofa and I'm not feeling guilty about it. I've got peace of mind, and I never knew how much I needed that. So since then, They've added 100k to their pensions, saving them a big lump of corporation tax. He stopped doing out-of-hours call-outs. They're creating passive, scalable income streams, and they're looking at their next property purchase, their next family home. And that's what happens when you focus on cash flow first instead of just chasing revenue. So that's cash flow first. It's the framework I used in my own business and the one I use with clients like Jason to create more cash, greater fulfillment while working fewer hours. That's the plan. And so if you remember one thing today, please remember this. You are in the cash flow business. Nothing else matters. Cash flow is king. No, cash is king, cash flow is queen. But you are in the cash flow business. Who would like to say it with me? Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. You are in the cash flow business. Thank you. I'm so used to Pantone, with a lot more audience participation. So we love to support businesses who like to move quickly to get results. So we designed something which is the Cashflow 100k Cashflow Accelerator VIP day. I won't go into too much detail, but it's a full day with us, Sam and myself. It's in person, it's in private, and we work through all the 5 steps together. So it's one day to commit to your future and walk away with your very own 100k cash flow roadmap, or whatever number is right for you, or it might be something that you don't want to do. I completely understand that. So you've got a choice from here. You're very welcome. If you haven't scanned the QR code already, here it is again. Does it work okay, by the way, earlier? Yeah, perfect, thank you. I didn't check. You can take these 5 steps away with you and have a go yourself, absolutely. Scan the QR code, get a copy of the slides. We'll also send out the video and possibly the transcript as well. Not the transcript, okay, just the video. All right, thank you.
It didn't record.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, get a copy of the slides, block out a day in your diary and start designing the life and the business that you want. Or if you'd rather not go it alone and you want to make sure that you get the result quickly, then the 100k cash in 12 months, then if you DM us the word results, then we can have a conversation and see if it working together might make sense for you or not, and it might not. Or of course just grab Samurai afterwards, after Jack's presentation. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and I hope it's given you a different way to think about cash flow in your business. And before we go to any questions, do we have time for questions?
Yeah.
Perfect. Before we go to any questions, is anybody who would like to share their key takeaway from what I said today? Rob.
Put £100 on the day rate.
Nice.
I'll be doing that.
That's a good first step. Excellent. Anybody else? All too shy, I get it. So, thank you very much.
Thanks, Andy. I think everyone's just mulling it over. There's quite a lot of information there, but yeah, it's great to have you here. Thank you very much. And where do you do your panto?
We do that at the Crofton Community Centre, and it's with the Crofton Amateur Dramatic. I wish I could say it. CADS.
Crofton Amateur Dramatic Society.
There you go.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye out for that for sure.
Thank you very much.
18th to 21st of January.
Oh, very organised.
Show TBA.
Are you on commission?
On the show.
Oh, you? There you go then.
He's right there.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. There you go.
With the gang.
Different type of network. So thank you very much, Andy.
Thank you.
And if there's anybody else here that is based on the Daedalus site anywhere that would like a speaker slot at any of these future events, I'd welcome